Hey everybody, welcome to Truck Talk Tuesday, the show where I sit in my truck on Tuesdays, talk to y'all about real estate. Big shout out to everybody that's been watching. It's been awesome seeing all the interaction and everything from you guys. Thanks, Bales. Watching you. But we're going to be going over a few different things that I've been hearing in the market. The big number one is, what do I do when I have to sell? It's crazy out there. Everybody's like, well, am I going to be homeless? Am I going to be able to find another spot to be? There's no inventory. Yeah, I can capitalize on today's market, but how do I actually do that? And how do I move forward without ending up without a house? Well, I have a few different strategies. I'm also going to be going over these in probably like some Instagram reels to get into them a little bit more in depth, because there are some layers. Or if you have questions, drop them below in the comments. I'll get back to you directly in a DM. We're going to get into it right now. So, you're going to be selling in today's market and capitalizing on the low inventory and sky-high prices. So, what do you do? Are you going to be homeless? Are you not? Here are some strategies for you. Number one, we are going to be looking into new construction. Yes, there are some drawbacks to new construction. There's a limited inventory, and you might not get exactly what you want in terms of everything. I mean, there's no such thing as a quote-unquote perfect house, but you can get pretty close, and it can fit a bunch of functional needs, especially if you're working in a production builder and you're going subdivision to subdivision. This could be a really good option for you. You can get the finishes that you want, you can get the paint colors that you want, you can get a majority of what you want, but you are getting something pegged early so that you can get it built in the specs that you are looking for. It can be a great option for some people. Number two, look at buying raw land. While raw land in some cases is a little bit expensive here in Central Oregon, it does give you the opportunity to buy something, hold on to it, not overextend your loan to value ratios and including your debts, and then you can build something custom on that. That can allow you to extend, sell, build something custom, and then you can land with something as close to perfect as you can get. So after that, here's another option, or another couple options that could really work for you. One, look into getting a bridge loan, which is essentially going to the bank and being like, this is how much money I'm going to have from the sale of my home in today's market. And the bank fronts you the cash to go get that next home, so you aren't stuck in between, because you don't really necessarily need to put in a contingent offer because they aren't as strong. Another option on that is, if you do have a bunch of equity, and instead of getting a bridge loan, you could look into getting a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. If you get that HELOC, you can use that to put funds down on a property, show that you have that security, go purchase, and then you can sell your home, recapture, and then return there. You will have the extra payments on the HELOC while that is extended, but you have the ability to pay that off. And you can swap that out for a mortgage through a refinance, which is a really good option for some people, especially if they've lived in a home for a long time, or they have done a bunch of improvements causing the equity value to spike. So one of the other ones, you can opt to rent for a little bit. I mean, you can capture a bunch of money in today's market since there is not a large amount of inventory. That means prices are up, but that means you could potentially elect to rent for a little bit. I mean, you could make a bunch of money, rent, find something, and then move. And I mean, it's not perfect. You have to move a little bit, and there are a little bit of drawbacks there. Moving's not fun, but it can work. And then here's another thing. It's not my favorite, but if you haven't considered looking into other markets, it might be something to look into, because not every place in America is nuts like Central Oregon is. I mean, a lot of people are like, nationally, this is blah, 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 blah. It's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy. Fire sale everywhere. No. There are places where there are pockets of a little bit more, well, civility in terms of the buying process. It might not be ideal, but it could be something that could work for you and your family. And you can get into that by discussing what the job opportunities are and different things like that. Another big thing you can look into, it's not my favorite, but it is an option out there. If you're not aware of making a contingent offer, it's something that you can throw out. Sometimes it works in today's market. It is a little funky. A contingent offer is basically an offer that you are going to be selling your home, and contingent upon that sale of the home, you can purchase the next home. Like I said, in today's market, it's a little funky, but if you're not aware of it and you have questions about that, let me know. I would love to clarify. Another thing is looking into seller financing. I don't know if anybody knows what seller financing it is, but it is basically where the seller acts as the bank after you put down a down payment, and they get to collect the interest on those payments for 5, 10, 15, 30 years. Typically, you're seeing a balloon payment somewhere in there where it's like, I need my money after 5 years, so they'll carry the paper. You refinance the home, you use that refinance money to pay them off, and then you get yourself a traditional mortgage. It can work in some cases, and it works really well for people with non-owner occupied homes that are a little older that want to just keep a little bit more steady income coming into them. Another thing that people can look into is a lease back. So after the sale of your home, you can negotiate essentially renting back from the folks until you find a place to move into. Sometimes you're looking 30, 60, 90, 120 days, and you pay a rent, essentially covering the mortgage for these people that are, well, buying your home, and then they move in after you move out. It does work, and it is pretty common in today's market. And then here is the last little thing that can happen. You can negotiate an extended closing. And we're starting to see that happen a lot more, especially nationally. I haven't heard of it too much locally, but this is a total option. You negotiate an extended closing. You get everything under contract. You go through your inspections, basically your whole chain of events of making sure that mutual acceptance is completed. But you extend an extended closing date so that you have identifying time to go and purchase a property. And then there's the ability to simultaneously close on both of those properties on the same day, meaning that every house gets sold at the same time. Funds get exchanged from the first house to buy the second house. The other buying party can walk away with their cash, and everybody's happy. It does take a little bit longer because you're almost doing like a residential 1031. If you have questions about that, just ask. I'll explain it. That's a whole nother video. But you're identifying property and then moving out after you've identified and come to completion on that contract. So if you have questions about any of these things, I know they're not super like common knowledge things, drop a comment, shoot me a DM. I'd love to explain them, love to sit down, talk with you. If you're looking at selling, there's tons of different options out there, and I have a lot of answers for the questions that you might have. So I'm Parker. I'm selling Central Oregon. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. Have yourself a great day. Stay safe and stay warm. It is a little chilly out here. So have yourself a great Tuesday.